February might be the shortest month of the year, but there are a ton of fantasy books coming out in February. Hey guys, I'm Jessie, and today I'm going to share with you my top 10 fantasy books coming out in February. Now, like I said, there are a ton of books coming out in February. So obviously I narrowed down this list to just the 10 that I'm most excited about, but you can actually check out my blog, which I'll link down below, and that has like a more exhaustive list. It's got, you know, more books on it, so you can check that out. And I'm sure there's some that I missed because there are, like I said, a ton coming out in February. I don't know what it is about this month, but February is like the Wild West of fantasy and sci-fi because there are just so many. The first one we have on February 6th, and that is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. So this book sounds like it's like a fantasy version of like Sherlock Holmes. It says that there's a like reimagined Holmes and Watson in this fantasy world, and it sounds like it's going to be a really fun one. I haven't read his other series yet. I've been meaning to, but for some reason, like this one just sounds super cool. And like I said, I'm really interested in this one coming out. I'm also still interested in reading his other series, Foundry Side, but this is his new one coming out, and I really enjoy like Holmes and Watson mystery. There's like a fantasy twist on the mystery. I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis, but not the whole thing. In Durenta's most opulent mansion, a high imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances, when a tree spontaneously erupted from his body. Even in this canton at the borders of the empire, where contagions abound and the blood of leviathans work strange magical changes, it's a death at once terrifying and impossible. Called in to investigate this mystery is Anna, an investigator whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities. There's a lot more. You can definitely go check it out and read the whole synopsis, but like I said, it sounds like very hot Watson and Holmes and fantastical and Blood of Leviathans. I'm here for it. Our next one is also coming out on February 6th, and that is The Infinity Alchemist by Kaysen Callender. Infinity Alchemist is a spellbinding novel about a quest that leads 3 young alchemists towards an unexpected love and an unimaginable power. It says, for Ash, practicing alchemy is a crime. Only the few elite are legally permitted to study the science of magic. So when Ash is rejected by the college, he takes a job as the school's groundkeeper instead and forced to learn alchemy in secret. When he's discovered by the condescending and yet brilliant apprentice Ramsay, Ash is sure he's about to be arrested. But instead of calling the Reds, Ramsay surprises Ash by making him an offer. Ramsay will keep Ash's secret if he helps her find the legendary Book of Source, a sacred text that gives its reader extraordinary power. Like, it sounds super cool. And it says it's featuring trans, queer, and polyamorous characters of color. Infinity Alchemist is a hugely anticipated young adult fantasy debut from the extraordinary author of Felix Ever After, King of the Dragonflies, Queen of the Conquered, and more. So I'm excited. It sounds super cool, like alchemy and illegal magic. Like I'm here for it. And then also coming out on the 6th is All This Twisted Glory by Tahara Mafi. This is the 3rd book in her new series, the Woven Kingdom series. And really not much to say about this one. I'm very excited. I read and liked the first book. I didn't love it. I am still needing to read book 2. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm excited for this to be like a completed trilogy so I can kind of binge read the whole thing. If you don't know what it is, the first one is kind of like a almost Cinderella retelling in a way, is it what it makes me think of. It's like the hidden heir and kind of enemies to lovers kind of romance, and there's gen magic, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't love it, but I liked it. So I'm excited to see like how she wraps up this story and what kind of happens. Another February 6th release, this seems to be a really popular day, is The Bride by Ali Hazelwood. And I probably wouldn't be as excited about this one if I wouldn't have read The Love Hypothesis close to the end of 2023, which surprised me because like it's a contemporary romance and I don't normally gravitate to those, but it was like a fun, quick read and I really actually enjoyed it. So I'm kind of excited to see this author's kind of foray into paranormal fantasy romance. You know, it could be hit or miss. Like, this could be awful, but it could be amazing as well. And it could just be like an okay, good time. So I'm excited to check it out. Honestly, it'll probably be like a library read for me. I probably won't like purchase this one, but it is a dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf, because a love deep enough to sink your teeth into in this new paranormal romance. I mean, vampires and werewolves, it can go so many ways when it comes to paranormal romance. I don't read a whole lot of romance in general, but something about this just screams I want to check it out. So we'll see, and I'm excited to see like kind of the reviews and what people think about her foray into paranormal romance from like her, I think most of her books are like nerdy romance, right? Like, she started off as a Raylo fanfic writer. I don't know, but so far, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so that's all we have for February 6th. Now we're going into February 13th, and this book is called The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. And it says, if you could open a door to anywhere, where would you go? In New York City, bookseller Casey Andrews is living an unassuming life when she's giving a gift by her favorite customer. It's a book, an unusual book, full of strange writing and mysterious drawings. And at the very front is a handwritten message to Cassie telling her that this is the Book of Doors and that any door is every door. To me, just the beginning of that synopsis sounds a lot like The Starless Sea kind of in vibes. And The Starless Sea is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm always looking for something that like kind of matches that in like in vibes and tone and feeling, and I love The Starless Sea. So this kind of gives me that vibe, if that makes sense. So that right there kind of sold me on really wanting to read this. I've never heard of this author. I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about this book. I just happened to see it when I was looking to see what was coming out. So this one is definitely high up on my radar. This next one is also coming out on the 13th, and it is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This is the same author who wrote Bear and the Nightingale, which, yes, I still have to read. I'm sorry, I have it. I want to read it. It sounds fantastic. But this one also sounded really cool, so I wanted to include it. This one says, during the Great War, a combat nurse searches for her brother, believed dead in the trenches despite the eerie signs that suggest otherwise. It is a hauntingly beautiful historical novel with a speculative twist. So I'm kind of here for that, but it sounds really cool. I really like that, like, kind of historical fiction, fantasy, speculative. It just sounds like it's going to be really good, and I know everyone loves her writing, so I'm excited to see something else by Catherine Arden. And now coming out on the 20th of February is one that I am so excited for, and that is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal. Now, I didn't like her other series. Hunter something. You know which one I'm talking about. I didn't love her other, like, YA fantasy series. I don't know what it is. This one sounds so much better. And I'm very excited to check this one out. I think I've already pre-ordered it from like Barnes & Noble. And it says, We Hunt the Flame. That's the one that I didn't love. I did DNF that book. So this is the first book in a duology. On the streets of White Roaring, Arthi is a criminal mastermind and collector of secrets. Her prestigious tea room transforms into an illegal bloodhouse by dark, catering to the vampires feared by society. But when her establishment is threatened, Arthi is forced to strike an unlikely deal with an alluring adversary to save it, and she can't do the job alone. Calling upon a band of misfits, she formulates a plan to infiltrate the dark and glittering vampire society known as the Ethereum. But not every member of her crew is on her side. And as the truth behind this heist unfolds, she finds herself in the midst of a conspiracy that will threaten the world she knows. Dark, action-packed, and swoon-worthy, this is Hafsa Faizal better than ever. That sounds so up my alley. I'm so here for this one. Next, coming out on the 27th of February, is Butcher of the Forest by Primi Mohammed. This one says, a world-weary woman races against the clock to rescue the children of a wrathful tyrant from a dangerous and otherworldly forest. At the northern edge of a land ruled by monstrous foreign tyrant lies the wild forest known as the Elmer. The villagers know better than to let their children go near it. Once someone goes in, they never come out. No one knows the strange and terrifying traps of Elmer better than Varys Thorn, the only person to ever rescue a child from the forest many years ago. When the tyrant's 2 young children go missing, Varys is commanded to enter the forest once more and bring them home safe. If she fails, the tyrant will kill her. If she remains in the forest for longer than a day, she will be trapped forever. So Varys will travel into the forest to face traps, riddles, and monsters at the behest of another monster, and one misstep will cost her everything. I don't know, I'm here for a dark, creepy forest. And saving children. So both of those things, right up my alley. And then the final one coming out in February that I'm very, very excited about also comes out on the 27th, and that is Fathomfolk by Aliza Chan. And this is book 1 in her new series. This one sounds super up my alley. And I mean, the cover is absolutely gorgeous. It says there's a modern myth-inflected story of revolution and magic set against the glittering, semi-submerged city, Tian Kauai, perfect for fans of Jade City and Bone Shard Daughter. Welcome to Tian Kauai, shining pearl of human civilization and a safe haven for those fleeing civil unrest, or at least that's how it first appears. But in the semi-flooded city, humans are, quite literally, peering down from skyscrapers and aerial walkways on the fathomfolk, sirens, sea witches, kelpies, and kappas who live in the polluted waters below. Half-siren Mira, promoted to captain of the border guard, means an opportunity to reform. At last, she has the ear of the city council and chance to lift the repressive laws that restrict fathomfolk at every turn. But if earning the trust and respect of her human colleagues wasn't hard enough, everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when a water dragon is exiled to the city. And there's a lot more in this description, but obviously I'm not going to sit here and just read you the entire description. But it sounds super good. Modern myths and a really cool half-submerged city, and I'm here for it. It sounds like it's going to be a really, really fun one. So I'm excited for that one to come out too. I'm pretty sure I already have it pre-ordered as well. Well, that is my top 10 books that I'm super excited about for the month of February. Let me know what books you're excited about that come out in February. It can be any of these, any of the other ones. You can check out the blog post and, see some more that are coming out, because obviously this isn't just all of the books coming out in February. That would be such a long video. But yeah, let me know what you're excited about. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. My name is Jessie, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.